Fear, well, that is more than a four-letter word. It is a state where several families in Nigeria live, and though the Nigerian government has already increased the security budget and intensified its commitment to restoring citizens' confidence, stakeholders insist that Nigeria must do more to ensure that fear does not become the nation's 37th state. Well, tonight, Babajide Ogunsawo, founder of Leadership by Data and Channels Television's data consultant, is here to share more insight about the current security challenges in the country. Babajide, thank you very much for joining us on the news at 10.
Good evening, Anne. It's been long we've done the news at 10 together.
Yes, I was on vacation, but it's good to be back. Now, what caught my attention in all of this is fear becoming the 37th state in Nigeria. So I want to ask you now, what is the current state of security? What are the facts on ground at the moment?
And there are several ways to discuss the current state of security. But before we go into that, because you're back, I brought you some dinner.
Aren't you sweet?
This is Nigerian jollof rice, not Senegalese or...
Nigeria is always number one.
But here's it, Anne. No matter how delicious this dinner is, if I give you this fork to carry this rice, you wouldn't. And so, Anne, listen carefully to what I mean. This situation represents exactly what Nigeria's security and defense challenge is. We are attempting to use this to carry this. We will not achieve much. What I mean is, over the years, this is the Nigerian Armed Forces. We keep strengthening the Nigerian Armed Forces. We've changed it from plastic to gold. We keep doing all we can to make this stronger. Yet, the contribution of the three tiers of government is broken. Yet, the contribution from private security organizations is broken. Yet, the contribution from citizens is broken. And so what we keep doing is we keep trying to use just the armed forces to carry Nigeria's security. And Anne, no matter how strong we make this, as long as all of this is broken, this will not achieve much. And so over the years, we keep trying to use the Nigerian Armed Forces to carry all of our problems. And what I mean is, for you to enjoy this dinner and for Nigeria to get back to be able to carry its security, we need to move from this and simply replace it with this. We need more contribution from all three tiers of government. We need more contribution from private security organizations. And we need more contribution from citizens. And until we get all these parts, we will not be able to enjoy our meals. We will not be able to carry our security forward. And that's the solution. We'll get back into this much later. You have talked about the current state of security. There are 5 states. And I would like us to quickly take a look at where we are on these ladder of fear, as you've described it, because it allows us to understand the good and the bad news. And if we take a look at what's in front of us, these are the steps on fear. We go from peace, criminality, banditry, kidnapping, terrorism, and insurgency. And for us to go down the ladder, it is still the same path. From insurgency, we've gone down to terrorism, and now we are that wrong where we're on kidnapping and banditry. So the good news is we are coming down that ladder, but we cannot move from insurgency and go straight into peace, because we never went from peace to insurgency. Where we are, good news. We are coming down from insurgency, terrorism, kidnapping, banditry. We are not where we are, but the trend shows we are on the way gradually to peace. And so, yes, the armed forces, plus, like I've said, the three tiers of government, private citizens, private security organizations now have to work more efficiently for us to move down that ladder back to peace. That is our current state.
All right, but the Senate has already required a meeting with the service chiefs. What are the resolutions Nigerians should be expecting in all of this?
You know, Anne, thinking of that, the first is we need to understand how many times have the Senate called the service chiefs. And if we take a look into our history, right from when President Buhari became president in 2015, our history shows that every year, apart from 2017, the Senate keeps calling the service chiefs. 2015, in February, service chiefs were invited. 2016, service chiefs were invited. 2018, 2019, we've seen every year service chiefs get invited. 2022, the Senate invited the service chiefs twice, in August and September. Only last year, the Senate invited the service chiefs after President Tinubu was sworn in 3 times and now again. So in all, we're going back to this situation where the Senate feels that the solution to Nigeria's problem is to keep strengthening this. However, the solution is we need to, yes, make this stronger, in reference to the armed forces, but we need to replace this with this. And so until the Senate stops focusing on a security or an armed approach to Nigeria's security situation, we wouldn't go far. The Senate also has to rethink and understand that under Buhari, former President Buhari, what I'm telling you, Anne, is the service chiefs were invited 8 times. Under President Tinubu, the service chiefs, this is the 4th invitation to the service chiefs. So clearly, invitations do not create results.
All about invitations. Well, what do you see the latest security surveys? What are they telling us about security across the geopolitical zones at the moment?
On that, Anne, we've got some good news and we've got some bad news, depending on how you want to look at it. Let's take a look at the surveys, especially comparing the results from December 2022 to the results of December 2023. And if we take a look at those surveys, looking at the national average, we'll see some good news. The surveys clearly shows that as at the end of December 2022, 44% of citizens, when asked, is security improving? 44% said security was improving. As at the end of last year, December 2023, those numbers have improved to 48%. However, there are 2 zones that have given negative feedback. That is the North Central and the Southwest. As at December 2022, 39% of citizens asked in the North Central if security was improving. The answer was yes. Now that number has gone down. So citizens in the North Central are saying security isn't improving. Citizens in the Southwest, 52% responded that security was improving December 2022. Only 50% responded security was improving. On an average, again, I repeat, security has improved in the last year. 44% in December 2022, now 48% in December 2023. However, what the security agencies and all tiers of government and private security organizations need to focus on are those 2 critical zones that we see negative feedback from the citizens.
So let's talk about the fight against terrorism. It started back in 2002. Now, how would you explain to the common man that this has lasted 2 decades? Is there a reason for that to last that long?
You know, Anne, it's how we understand Nigeria. I tell people, and I'll tell you this, Nigeria is a mansion, but we think and we act like we are living in a bungalow. And let's take a look at the map in front of us. Yes, we talk about 6 geopolitical zones. But Anne, listen carefully to what I'm about to tell you. The population of the Northeast Zone is equivalent to the population of Côte d'Ivoire. The population of the North Central Zone is the equivalent of the population of Malaysia. The population of Nigeria's Northwest is equivalent of the population of Kenya. Nigeria's Southwest, that's the population of Argentina. Nigeria's South-South, that's the population of Ghana. And Nigeria's Southeast, the population of North Korea. And what I'm telling you is that Nigeria is a mansion. We're not just 6 geopolitical zones. What we have seen is we are the equivalent of 6 countries. And so we need to understand, and the president isn't just the president of Nigeria. He needs to understand that he's the president of several countries. Again, what I'm telling you is Nigeria is a mansion, but we're thinking and acting like we're living in a bungalow. And just before I leave, later tonight, apart from what I've told you, Burna Boy, Davido,
Yes.
Ayastar will be telling the world about how great Nigeria is in music, despite all the things I've told you about Nigeria's challenges and security
So there's
problems.
always something good. But the thing I took out of this is that from here, we should go here.
Exactly,
right?
and from there, that's where we're going.
All right, thank you very much. Babajide Ogusawo, founder of Leadership by Data and Channels Television's data consultant. It's always a pleasure.
And don't forget your jollof rice.
Bring it.
And don't forget what to eat with it.
I will eat it.